So good evening. Tonight is the Carmel Clay Parks and Recreation April 8th Park Board meeting. Katie, would you go ahead and call the roll, please?
Yes. Jonathan Blake.
Here.
Jim Garrettson.
Here.
Judy Hagan. Absent. Jen
Here.
Christmas. Katie Mueller's here. Josh Orahood. Absent. John Shapiro.
Present.
Reedy. Absent. And Mark is joining on the phone.
Yes, I am.
We have a quorum?
Yes.
Yes, okay. I'll call the meeting to order at 6:07. If we could please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. Okay. I'll open the meeting now to public comments. Would anyone like to make any?
I
Mr.
would like
Hensel?
to at least make an introduction. We're pleased to have with us tonight Township Trustee Paul Hensel, so thank you for joining us.
Paul, would you like to say anything? Okay. Mark, Paul would like to remind you that you need to get with him for signatures.
Okay. I will do that.
Okay. And then staff reports. Michael?
Included in your board packets are the staff reports. Happy to address any questions you have on those reports, and I will do my ablest to answer them.
Anyone have any questions for staff? No? Mark, can you hear us okay?
Yes, I can hear you fine.
Okay, thank you. Do you have any questions for staff?
No.
Okay. And then we'll talk about committee reports. Mark, Finance Committee.
Did not meet.
Okay, the Finance Committee has not met. And then Mark, the Strategic Funding Committee
Has not met either.
has not met. Thank you. And then Secretary, the minutes, please.
Yes. I just moved to approve.
Yeah, you read that statement, please.
I move to approve the minutes of the Park Board meeting on March 11th, 2025.
Second.
Thank you. Does anyone have any questions regarding the minutes? Okay, all those in favor of Katie's motion?
And actually, I'll do the
Oh, I'm
roll
sorry.
call vote since it is, we have a virtual attendee. Jonathan Blake,
Yes.
Jim Garrettson,
Yes.
Jen Christunis,
Yes.
Katie Mueller,
Yes.
John Shapiro,
Yes.
and Mark Westermeyer.
Yes.
Motion carries unanimously 6-0.
Thank you. And Michael, can you hear Mark okay?
I can, thank you.
Okay, perfect. And then let's move on to the financial reports for Mark. Since he's virtual and can't be seen, we're going to have Jonathan go ahead with those.
All right, I move to acknowledge receipt of the consolidated financial report for February 2025. And I also move to acknowledge receipt of the P&L statements for March 2025.
Second.
Thank you. Are there any questions regarding either of these? No?
Seeing none, I'll do the roll call vote. Jonathan Blake,
Yes.
Jim Garrettson,
Yes.
Jen Christunis,
Yes.
Katie Mueller,
Yes.
John Shapiro,
Yes.
Mark Westermeyer.
Yes.
Motion carries unanimously 6-0.
Thank you. And then we'll move on to the claims. Jonathan, please. You're fine.
Okay. I move to approve claim sheet dated March 11, 2025, and I also
Payroll.
sorry. also move to approve the payroll, wages, and liabilities for payroll dates March 7, 2025, and March 21, 2025.
Second.
Thank you, Jonathan and Katie. Are there any questions regarding the claims or payroll? Seeing none, Michael?
Jonathan Blake,
Yes.
Jim Christunis,
Yes.
Jim Garrettson,
Yes.
Katie Mueller,
Yes.
John Shapiro,
Yes.
Mark Westermeyer.
Yes.
Motion carries unanimously, 6-0.
Thank you. So that closes out our claims. Michael, do we have any monetary gifts, grants, partnerships, or sponsorships?
We have 5 sponsorships and donations to report to the Park Board today. We have one from Grand Appliance and TV in the amount of $1,500, which is for a sponsorship of Water Park Cabanas. We have a sponsorship from Indiana University Health in the amount of $1,250, which is sponsoring our Family Nature Walk. We have a $1,000 sponsorship from Centier Bank in the amount of, I said, $1,000 for the Monon Mixer. We have a $3,100 sponsorship from Merrifield Exteriors for Lunch and Learn and Water Park Cabana sponsorship. And finally, we have a $100 anonymous donation that is dedicated to staff appreciation. With that, we recommend that the Park Board accept these sponsorships and donations.
Do we need a motion for that?
Yes, we do.
I move we accept the monies with thanks.
Second.
Thank you. Again, we thank every one of our sponsorships and our donation. This is fantastic for the park, the cabanas. Is this our first cabana sponsorship?
We actually had some sponsorships last year, so
Okay.
this is a continuation of that program and continuing to look for additional opportunities to find sponsors, not only for our cabanas, but for other amenities and facilities within the park system.
Fantastic. Thank you, Michael. Does anyone else have any questions?
Good work.
Fantastic. Thank you, Michael.
We'll do the roll call vote. Jonathan Blake,
Yes.
Jim Garrettson,
Yes,
Jen Christunis,
Yes.
Katie Mueller,
Yes.
John Shapiro,
Yes.
Mark Westermeyer.
Yes.
Motion carries unanimously, 6-0.
Thank you. Michael, any new business?
No new business or old business.
Okay, so we will close those 2 items, and then Zach, our attorney's report, please.
Yeah, just a couple items. We are working on the closing docs for the purchase of the Lawhead property located on River Road. Due diligence is all completed, and we expect the surveys to be completed by April 16th with a closing date within the week thereafter. We're working on an MOU with the city of Carmel related to the $110 million city bond projects dedicated to parks. Only a portion of that's dedicated to parks. Brian has a meeting with the city at the end of the month regarding the MOU. An employment partner in our firm is working on an employee claim before the Indiana Civil Rights Commission. And an update on that should be forthcoming at the next meeting in May.
Okay, thank you. Does anyone have any questions for Zach, our attorney? One of them? Okay, thank you very much. And then we'll move into our director's report. Michael?
Probably the biggest thing that I wanted to bring forward to the Park Board and provided you an update via email shortly after the storms we had. But we were actually very fortunate that the path of the tornado actually hit directly 2 of our parks. But both of those parks are currently undeveloped, so not a lot of assets. The photos on the screen are some photos that our videographer took of that park. Number of trees in Cherry Tree Park that were uprooted and damaged, so you can see some of those. We actually have about $32,000 worth of cleanup in that park that has been contracted out and will be starting as soon as tomorrow, so we're excited about that. Yes, sir.
what's the cleanup include?
It includes removal of all of the trees, taking out, some of these trees are quite large, and some of them have large limbs that are hanging up in the sky. So this is a relatively complex cleanup. When you drive by, it doesn't look as complex as what it is, but it's pretty significant.
$32,000 worth?
Yes, yes. Now, fortunately, the city council did a special appropriation of $50,000 for the park board to help cover storm-related cleanups. So that'll cover not only these expenses, but any staff expenses that we had for cleanups along the Monon Greenway. So the fortunate thing is, thanks to the city council and mayor, we'll have the resources to do so without a hit to our budget. So that makes it a lot more palatable, and certainly appreciative of them. They also did additional appropriation for the city departments to also make sure that there were enough funds to clean everything up.
We don't have any insurance for this?
We will be looking at insurance opportunities, but our deductible is around $25,000 for these types, per my recollection. We'll double check, but per claim, it's usually around $25,000. So we'll be working with the city's chief financial officer to see if there's any opportunities for reimbursement through insurance. The city is also looking at opportunities for reimbursement from the state. With it being a declared emergency by the mayor, there might be some opportunities for that. And the fire chief is helping the city navigate that based on his previous experience working with Homeland Security for the state of Indiana. So working closely with the city to identify, are there opportunities to help cover these expenses through other things. But insurance, if we're not rolled into a big claim with the city, there might be some savings, but not significant savings. Beyond that, we did have some storm damage along the Monon Greenway, right south of City Hall, sort of in between the Japanese Garden and City Hall. Some limbs, nothing of major significance, but a lot of insulation from the antique mall that was destroyed, or at least the southern half of that building was ripped off. So we got some of the debris from that. There was a number of debris from those buildings immediately adjacent to the Monon that ended up on the Monon or in the ditch that's on the east side of the Monon. So we worked to get that cleaned out because that serves as part of the stormwater management system for the central part of Carmel. But all in all, the cleanup for this, other than Cherry Tree and immediately next to City Hall, was nothing greater than what we see for a typical thunderstorm. You know, some limbs, some sticks and things like that down, but overall very fortunate. We also did, at the time that the storm hit, have members at the Monon Community Center. Fortunately, it was within the last hour of operations, so there were less than 30 people in the building, including staff. We followed our protocols. Everyone sheltered in place until we had it all clear, so no major damages. But had that storm, the center of the path, been about 0.6, 0.7 miles to the south, we would have had a direct hit on the Monon Community Center. So demonstrates why it's so important for us to have those emergency action plans in place, so that and to have our staff properly trained on it, so that we can ensure, should something like that hit the facility, we're as prepared as possible to protect our visitors and staff. Yes, Mr.
This hit about 9:30, didn't it?
That is correct.
And there were people in the senior center?
In the Monon Community Center, we were open till 10 p.m.
Oh, no,
Yeah. No.
Okay.
But I do want to commend our Parks and Natural Resources team for the excellent job on the cleanup, working with the vendor to, again, remove the debris in Cherry Tree Park. And also want to give kudos to our recreation facility staff that did a phenomenal job of implementing our protocols to keep the visitors and staff safe at the Monon Community Center.
Do you plan to replace those trees?
We are going to be looking at, the trees are very large, so it's not like we can easily replace them. It's not going to be like for like, obviously. But we will be looking at appropriate things, whether it's smaller trees, This is a park that's undeveloped, so talking with some city councilors, there might be some interest with some of the councilors in providing funding for some preliminary improvements to that park. If nothing else, I'd like to see some natural areas and some new trees planted there, if at all possible.
This is near Cherry Tree School.
Yeah, it's just a little bit south,
Didn't, about, how many acres, 17?
right around 17, you're correct.
Didn't we talk at one time about trading that?
There has, over the years, been discussions about what's the best use of this park. Is there opportunities for trading it with the developer or otherwise? The general consensus has been that right now it's just best to land bank it, and if nothing else, it's providing open space, green space in the area. Obviously, currently closed for the public, but the city does provide funding so that all the expenses associated for mowing the grass there and maintaining it are covered through our city funded budget.
Well, this is an area the mayor used to protect when she was a council person.
That is correct. This is an area that certainly has been of interest in maintaining and green space by Mayor Finkum, especially when she was representing that district as a councilor.
And the subdivision around it put a sign, expensive sign in there.
That is correct. The subdivision sign is actually on park property. We had notified them. We basically have an agreement in place so that they recognize that in error their sign was placed on park property. So it's not like they have assumed ownership because of squatter rights or anything. We've made sure to notify them. They know that if we needed to remove the sign, that we have the right to do so. But since it's an undeveloped park, there hasn't been a great need to make that sign be relocated at this time.
Well, in your long-range thinking, are you still holding that the opportunity may come if we want to acquire more property that we could trade?
I think it's best to keep all options on the table. So I wouldn't say yes or no to that, but I think that's an option that can't be ruled out. But at the same time, the general consensus that we've had from neighbors, from elected officials, is that there is a value in keeping it, if nothing else, for the green space. So it's probably not a high probability, but I think I would be remiss to say, we'd rule it out if there was a compelling reason to do.
And why have we never put playground equipment or something on there?
The primary reason is it is so close to Enlow Park. I mean, it is within a 15-minute walk easily to Enlow Park. The east side of the community is definitely has more park assets, built recreation infrastructure than other areas of the community. So when we're prioritizing the limited resources that we have for park development, it just has never risen to the highest priority because we're already effectively serving members on that side of town with Enlow, with Cary Grove, and with some of the other park assets. But it doesn't mean that there isn't value just having open space.
So doesn't it seem logical that if you found appropriate ground, which is shrinking all the time, in the west side of the township, it'd be a good trade? Or is it just a political problem?
I think it's one, finding the right thing, and I think that you can't ignore the political settlements regarding that park.
Thank you.
Beyond that, it's spring break in Carmel, so obviously my partners in crime up here are with their families as their kiddos are out of school, and it has been a, knock on wood, relatively slow week in the park system, which is a good thing. So with that, happy to address any other questions the park board may have.
Does anyone have any questions for the director? No? Mark?
No.
Okay. Moving on, thank you, Michael, to the information items. We'll start with Plan Commission. Jonathan?
Yeah, I'll keep my comments brief. We've reviewed quite a few cases in the last couple couple of months, but back on the 1st, the Plan Commission Committee met to discuss the North End primary plat amendment. So this is North End, where the North End apartments are on West Smoky Row, just west of Monon. They are amending that plat to include 170 units for individuals over 55, and then 7 townhome buildings that will include 72 apartment homes. As part of that, the reason I bring it up is part of that is adjacent to the Monon Greenway, and they're going to be working with staff. If they haven't already reached out to you, they will be.
Yes, they have. I don't remember the date, but I'm set up to meet with representatives from Old Town Design Group.
Okay, great. I mean, overall, the project looks really great. It's going to be a continuation of the existing product there. I think it'll be nice to see that along the Monon, but I did stress to them during the Plan Commission Committee that I wanted to make sure that the buffer between the Monon and the project was not negatively impacted. And I did express some concern about the parking being placed so closely to the Monon, especially at that very far end.
No, I appreciate that. And the other thing that I want to make sure we're looking at is that project as a whole, both Phase 1 and Phase 2 received a Park and Recreation Impact Fee credit as approved by the Board of Public Works. And one of the components of that was an extension of the Hagenberg Trail through that subdivision over to the roundabout by Smoky Row and Old Meridian. So I want to make sure that there is some type of trail connectivity to ensure that the impact fee credit that was granted is used for the intended purpose.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah. It'll be a great project. We did continue that to the May 6th meeting as well, so on that project.
I'm pretty sure that we're scheduled to meet here in the month of April, so that should transpire beforehand.
Yeah, go ahead, Jim.
We're talking about more apartments.
Yeah, for 55 and over.
I thought the present city council had a disposition about slowing down the construction of apartments.
Well, this is part of the broader project that had been previously approved through
Under
zoning.
Brainerd.
Yeah, I mean, it would have been under Mayor Brainerd, or right at the beginning of Mayor Finkham's term. So this is just a continuation of that existing project.
Thank you.
Yep. Other than that, we've had a couple of rezonings. Nothing significant right now.
Okay, thank you, Jonathan. School board, John?
Also, to try and stay, keep comments brief, echo what Michael shared, we were very fortunate with the storms last week. No school buildings were damaged. We did have volleyball matches going on at the high school, so there were kids and families there. But all of our buildings, no damage to buildings, some minor tree limbs, especially on the east side. But everybody was okay. And from a board and administration perspective, we are sort of sitting around and waiting to see what happens down to the legislature and the impact that that's going to have in terms of property taxes and school funding, and the impact that that will have on the school district here in the next couple of weeks. So more to come there. And we're going to blink here, and the school year is going to be over, and all of our kids are going to be involved in summer camps. So ready or not, here they come.
We're ready.
Oh, sorry.
Question. This is selfish only because my son goes to Mohawk Trails. They had to have indoor recess because some trees did go down, like by the playground and their play area. Are they trying to get that cleaned up this week?
That's my understanding, is that they were using a lot of the time this week with kids being out of school to get a lot of that stuff. Yeah.
I figured as much,
But I will
thought
also,
I would ask the inside source.
I'm glad you asked the question, but I will absolutely also make sure I send a little note tonight
Okay, thank you.
and follow up, make sure.
Yeah, thanks.
My pleasure.
Thank you. Mark, did you have a question?
No, I don't.
Okay, thank you. Michael, for the Climate Action Plan Advisory Committee, did you have any updates for us?
No updates to provide
Okay.
from Eric, and the Parks Foundation has not met since our last meeting, so no updates from the Parks Foundation.
Okay, fantastic. And then I'll just go ahead and open it up to Park Board comments and/or discussion, if anyone has anything that they would like to share. John, Jonathan? Nope. Jim?
I just think you're running a wonderful, I just think you're doing a wonderful job.
Oh, thanks.
without This.
Oh, thank you. Katie, anything? Ms. Mark, anything from? No? Okay. It's weird seeing him down on my computer and no one else can see him, so. I have nothing other than, I echo what everyone has said about the storm, damage cleanup and, efforts by everyone to ensure everyone's safety, whether it be in the school or in the building. I couldn't, safety comes above anything else. So thanks to everyone, the staff included, for ensuring safety of our past comers. Yeah. So thank you. Michael, did you have any closing comments?
No closing comments.
Okay. With that, I will take a motion.
Move we adjourn.
Second.
Thank you. We will adjourn today at 6:32. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Hey, Mark.
Bye, Mark.